Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I know I just made a video and I posted it just earlier this morning, but I just wanted to introduce you briefly to my cat Buna. He's about 6 months old. I've had him ever since he was a month old, and today is actually his last day. He'll be staying with me because he'll be going to my grandma's house just because the place that I live in, they don't want an animal around anymore, but he's been a joy to have around, and I'm very much an animal person. I love animals, especially cats. They're definitely a calming, um, a calming thing to have around. Not a thing. Obviously, he's a living thing. A calming, a calming animal to have around when you're all out at work all day and then have to go to school at night, which is what I do most of the time. Um, so he's definitely fun to have around, and I'm kind of sad that I have to give him away. But anyways, all praise is due to Allah. We seek refuge in Him and seek His forgiveness. And I bear witness that Allah is one God, and Muhammad is His prophet and messenger. So I just wanted to briefly talk about being a vegetarian, and the fact that it's seen as like, if you're a Muslim vegetarian, a lot of people are like, how do you eat, and why would you make something that is permissible for you haram? And I remember when I decided to become vegetarian, I made sure to do my research. And so when I researched, I came across this article about a Muslim who was vegetarian. And what I really liked about in the article, and maybe I'll try and Google it and put it in the description below. So basically, the article had said that um, it's completely permissible to be vegetarian as a Muslim, because if you think about it, there are things that the Prophet ﷺ liked, like I believe it was squash, and there was another, I think, vegetable or something that he liked. If it doesn't necessarily mean that because the Prophet ﷺ ate something that it's something that we also have to eat, as long as I am not telling myself or telling anyone else that I believe eating meat is haram, that I believe the consumption of animals is haram, because indeed Allah created animals for that purpose of giving us sustenance. So, I remember when I first said that I was going vegetarian, a lot of people had asked me that if I was making it as if meat is haram. I definitely don't believe that at all. In fact, most of my friends and family are meat eaters. I don't know many vegetarians, I believe. Maybe like one or two. Actually, most of the time, Muslims are zabiha, meaning that um, on their day to day life, like I have a friend who lives in the dorm of her college campus, and they don't provide halal meat, so she will only eat vegetarian burgers and like other like salad and other food offered, but won't eat the meat offered there. But when she knows that meat is coming from a halal source, she knows that the animal were treated in a humane manner, killed in a humane manner, they were killed in the name of God, um, then she will eat that meat. For me, I originally wanted to do that because I've been vegetarian for about 2 years now. I originally was just going to not eat meat at home because at home my mom isn't Muslim, so she doesn't buy meat from halal sources, and it wasn't something that she was concerned about. And if I had wanted to eat halal meat at home, I would have to find the transportation and the money to go and purchase it, which I didn't have that resource at the time. So I just said, okay, I'll just stop eating meat. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I don't eat much meat, or well, now I don't eat it at all. But before I made the choice to become vegetarian, I mainly ate chicken. I eat beef occasionally, but I've never really liked beef that much. I didn't really like steak that much. I never have liked goat meat. Oh gosh, don't like it really at all. What other kind of meat is there? Oh, fish. There are some people that are pescatarians, meaning they only eat fish. I never liked fish either, so I don't eat anything. I don't eat meat. I don't eat fish. So, yeah, it was just more of a taste preference that uh I just didn't feel like eating meat anymore. And it was more than just a taste preference. If you live in the United States and you research about the meat and dairy industry, and you'll come across a lot of videos where you see how the animals are treated. And that's why how I really love Islam, and how animals are permissible for us to eat, but they're only we're supposed to treat them with kindness. We're supposed to be nice to them, be kind to them. If we are going to eat them, you don't waste any part of the animal. And then also you're very you're quick with the way that you kill the animal, and you're not supposed to like torch them beforehand or kill them in an awful way. So that's what's really beautiful to me about Islam. But in America, it's more about um, quickness. Like they need to kill as many animals as possible, so they'll resort to cruel methods in order to get that to make that happen. Because a lot of Americans eat meat, so they just need to be quick about it, I suppose. But yeah, when I had done my research about meat and dairy in the meat and dairy industry in America, I, being a person very passionate about animals, like when I was like one of my, which sounds kind of lame, but he's kind of like my good friend. He's been around there for me for these past few months. And before, if you have watched my interracial relationship video, my cat Shiva at my mom's house was in that video. So I've been surrounded by animals for not most of my life, but most of my adult life. So I'm very passionate about animals and how they're treated. And so for me, and the choice of not eating meat, one, it's a taste preference. I don't like eating meat anymore. The smell of it kind of like disgusts me. And then also just because I really value animals' lives. I think they're just as important as humans, and I feel like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them not only for sustenance for us, but also as a test for us to see how we're treated. If you have ever heard the story, there was a woman who actually entered hellfire because she tortured a cat and wouldn't feed it and abused it and was cruel to it. So animals are just as important as humans, and how we treat them and how we care for them is also an important thing, and can determine what happens to us in the afterlife. So yeah, I just wanted to make a brief video because today's last day. Buna will probably be around. And then also just talking about how I decided to become vegetarian. And if anyone has any more questions about that, I'd definitely be open to answering them. So again, JazakAllah Khair for listening, and you guys have a great day. Assalamu alaikum.